The Sinking Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant is located at 2032 Blanton Drive. The treatment plant staff is responsible for ensuring that pollutants and nutrients are removed from the city's domestic and industrial customers' wastewaters. The operations process is completed when the effluent is either discharged into the West Fork-Stones River or put into beneficial reuse.
It begins at the homes, at the industries. They're flushing wastewater, they're disposing of wastewater, it's coming to us. And at the industries, we have a pre-treatment program. So we've got an entire program dedicated to that. We have a fat, oils, and grease program dedicated to keeping fat, oils, and grease out of the system. And then we have a collection system. There's miles and miles of pipe. There's lift stations that bring the wastewater to the plant. And all that's before it finally reaches the plant. Then once it reaches the plant, that's where the treatment process takes place. So we're taking the wastewater and we're going to convert that wastewater into something that is useful and something that is good for the environment. So after it reaches the wastewater plant, it's thoroughly treated, and then it's either released into the river, and we have excellent quality effluent that's released into the river, or it's beneficially reused. Anywhere in the city that you see a purple pipe, that's beneficial reuse water. So at a soccer field, at a golf course, over at the avenues, their landscaping, irrigation, that's all beneficial reuse. That water is of such good quality that it's great for the public, and it's lower cost than drinking water. So we're able to provide these services at a lower cost, but with the same high quality. After that, you've got solids that are in the wastewater. We remove those through our biosolids processing. It's almost like a plant in and of itself. These biosolids are processed to an excellent quality, and then they are trucked to the landfill. So you have that biosolids aspect of it. Then you also have the ongoing maintenance. Wastewater treatment is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. There is not a moment that it stops. So with all these moving parts, over $100 million in assets, it's a big deal for the maintenance crew to maintain, stay on top of that. At the same time, one of the biggest regulations is our national discharge permit. This is through the EPA, delegated authority to the state. So this is the compliance that is a super big deal. And we have a laboratory here at the plant. We've got a scientist, we've got other lab workers, and they're continuously testing the samples from the water, make sure that we're meeting all of the federal, state, and local regulations. And then, of course, we have an operations crew. Now, the operations crew is managing the plant, operating the plant to make all this happen. So as a manager, what I'm having to do is manage these teams of experts, direct these teams of experts. In a lot of ways, I'm helping to maintain the vision. And the vision is excellence, customer service, financial viability. We're talking about cost effectiveness. And so I try to create a vision that they can strive after. I try to create directives that they can work within. And then I like to turn them loose. They are experts in their fields. We have the various fields, and they go at it, and they're doing great work for the city of Murfreesboro. We have a new Headworks building that's being constructed. The old Headworks building was of a great technology. When we established what we wanted, we picked a good technology, and it's worked fantastic. When it came time for a new one, we could have rested on our laurels. But that's not the way we've operated at all. We operate within a framework of continuous improvement. So even though that system was working 100% and it worked great, we still reevaluated it. And times have changed, technology has innovated, and we came across a better technology. So we're talking about going from great to even better. So the new Headworks building is going to be a new technology. We've invested the hard work, the research, the homework to make sure that for Murfreesboro, we don't just cut and paste, that we're actually evaluating things and seeking opportunities to create advantages, create cost savings, create a better quality product. And that ended up being the result of our Headworks. It's about an $8 million project currently under construction. Should be finished within the year. It's in conjunction with two other projects. There's a Southwest Regional Pump Station off-site. It's going to be a major pump station. This pump station would be about as big as the main pump station at most wastewater plants in the state of Tennessee. But for us, it's an off-site. It's going to carry the wastewater for about a quarter, half of the city, through the force main to the new headworks building. So you're talking about $8 million projects all along the way. You're talking about significant amounts of money. But all along the way, we've had dedicated professionals from the director on down, vetting this whole process, looking for inefficiencies, and creating opportunities to create the better quality product, save the city money. And one thing that I've appreciated from the staff is they're willing to put in the hard work, because it's easy if you're doing very well to just keep doing the same thing, status quo. But we've avoided that trap and said we're going to put in the hard work and try to do even better. The purpose of the plant, of course, is to take the wastewater from the customers of Murfreesboro and turn it into a high-quality effluent with a beneficial reuse possibility. That's done by the operations. Murfreesboro is blessed. The operations staff is outstanding. As a matter of fact, over the course of the last 2 years, we've been through a nutrient reduction process. We're trying to do enhanced nutrient removal. Now, the plan that we came up with has to be executed by the operators, and we did it. So, mission accomplished. We ended up with a great product. The plan worked, and we now have the nutrient reduction that we need. One of the plant supervisors, Josh LeMay, I kind of considered him the quarterback on this. I like to use sports metaphors. He quarterbacked it, he led the team, and we got the victory. Other folks on the team, you know, they did their part. They executed. They followed the plan, and they showed the dedication, because we were asking them to do something above and beyond what they had done in the past. We were asking them to go above and beyond, to really care, to show dedication, without any salary increases, without any thoughts of credit or fame or even a pat on the back. We were asking a lot of the staff, and they delivered. So I'm very proud of the operations staff. We also have other units. Take what we call industrial surveillance. That involves our pre-treatment program, our fat oils and grease program. These are guys that they're kind of the front lines, the defense of the plant. They're monitoring things that are coming in, because we have a biological system. This biological system has a health. It can become unhealthy, it can become sick, or it can become very vibrant and do a lot of work for you. Well, pre-treatment, fat oils and grease, that plays a huge role in protecting the plant. And they execute that job well. When we trend out certain data over the years, we see that over the years they've made a difference. They're protecting the plant well. They're creating a higher quality effluent. So they're doing a great job. And again, this is an unsung type thing. Back in our biosolids, like I said, that's almost like its own plant. If you go around the state of Tennessee, 90% of the plants are going to be fairly small. And probably 50% of the plants would be no bigger than our biosolids plant. So back there, it's basically almost an independent plant. The man is working as a plant manager, in effect. Greg Hicks, he's our biosolids foreman, and they operate on a high level. Professionalism, constantly on the lookout for continuous improvement, excellence, cost savings. One of our recent projects deals with polymer. Greg is always on the lookout for polymer performance. He does his own independent jar testing. You know, when you go to other facilities, this is something that a consultant would be hired to do. Engineers, firms, big work contract. He takes it upon himself to go above and beyond, to do this project himself, and to have the expertise to do it. He knows the results we need, and therefore he can make expert recommendations to me. These expert recommendations end up saving us tens of thousands of dollars a year on polymer. So that's just another example of a great supervisor that's been turned loose to do a great job because he's got dedication and a love for Murfreesboro. The design capacity flow of the plant is 16 million gallons per day. Right now, Murfreesboro is essentially at that capacity. So we're going to expand the plant by 50%. This is phase 4D. It's a $36.5 million project. In this design, the staff has gone through and we've thoroughly vetted many of the processes, trying to find cost savings. Some of the bigger processes were the initial design had a sludge holding facility. All of the numbers indicated we needed a sludge holding facility. Engineering wise, we're doing the calculations. It looks like we need a sludge holding facility. But one aspect that really hadn't been vetted, and I was kind of new to this position at the time, was from an operational standpoint. Can we make changes? Can we improve our process? Can we change the business design in order to get around this? And what we found out was that, in fact, if we changed our business process, if we changed our operations, if we were willing to do a little more work, that we could at least delay this project. So we're talking about a $3 million facility that now, instead of spending the $3 million, we're going to at least delay it. And that's actually going to give us more time to continually improve, continually look at it. And who knows, we may eventually be able to get away with not having it at all. But ultimately, that's $3 million that the city's not going to have to spend in the next couple of days. We also looked at our sand filter facilities. The project design called for certain things. Great design. It would work. We looked at it. Did we ever put it to bed? No, we continually looked at it. Can we find ways to improve this process? There's no sense, until the concrete's being poured, there's no sense in giving up on the idea of improvement. And as we went along, we found out, hey, if we change a few design components and eliminate a few processes, we can save over $1 million. And so, because we never gave up on the idea of continuous improvement, we're going to save over $1 million on our sand filter design. So, with a $36.5 million project, there's millions to be saved here, millions to be saved there. And with a dedicated professional staff, we're able to vet those things out. And I think we've come up with an ultimate design that is about as good as you can get. On the back end of it, we're going to have an optional alum dosing plant. Now, this is an option. The reason it would be needed is for phosphorus removal. If we're unable to biologically remove the phosphorus, we will have to have this alum dosing plant. So you're talking about, $500,000 to $1 million in infrastructure. Then you're talking about $200,000 to $500,000 in ongoing operational costs. This is a really big deal. But if we can accomplish it biologically, none of that will be necessary. The two biggest things that residents can do to help their city are, number one, don't flush so-called flushable wipes. Flushable wipes, whether they're used for babies, changing diapers, or their own personal use, are not truly flushable. This flushable claim really pertains to the idea that it would go down the toilet. But by that definition, all sorts of things could be considered flushable. But they're not truly flushable in the sense that they do not go through the wastewater system without damaging the system. When these flushable wipes get into the system, they're what we call non-dispersible. In other words, they don't break up, they accumulate. So what they end up doing is wrapping around pump impellers, clogging systems. This tears up motors, it blocks the system. So we have to waste time sending technicians out to create these repairs. We have to spend money buying new equipment that was ruined by these flushable wipes. And then we also potentially have what we call an overflow. If the equipment becomes so damaged or so clogged, the sewage can back up, come out of the manhole, onto the ground, into the environment. And so these flushable wipes are damaging in all those senses. They waste the time of the technician, they cost the city money, and they can lead to an environmental hazard. So if the citizens could reduce that, that would be one great thing. The other thing is fat oils and greases. At home, you're cooking a nice, delicious meal, and you've got some leftover grease or fat, which I often do. If it's poured down the sink, then it gets into the system. These fats, oils, and greases ultimately accumulate and can clog the pipes in the system, resulting in all the same types of negative effects that the flushable wipes have. One of the unknown aspects of wastewater treatment is that we've got at least as many customers as anyone in the city, because we deal with almost every citizen. You may say, well, I have a septic tank. Well, do you go to a restaurant? Do you ever go to the mall? If you ever do that, you're involved in wastewater with the city of Murfreesboro. So we have as many customers as any other city service. But what's even more interesting is that we probably have more transactions with citizens of Murfreesboro, with customers, than any other department. You know, folks are using our service multiple times a day, over 40,000 billed customers. It's a big deal. Now, we pride ourselves on our customer service because I would say 99.99% of everyone is very pleased with it. They don't ever have to think about it. When you use our service, you are 100% pleased because it works almost every time. And now you're talking about tens of thousands of transactions that we're having to conduct, and yet everyone is happy with the process. So happy that they never think of us. It's taken completely for granted. But we think about it, you know, and we think about it in terms of customer service. And we think about, we want folks to carry on with life. It's all about creating a better quality of life. We want folks to be shopping, to be playing in the river, to be fishing, to be at the parks, playing soccer, golfing. That's what the citizens of Murfreesboro should be doing, enjoying their lives. And we just want to be the background for that, the backdrop, serving them to help create a better quality of life in Murfreesboro. Part of that is capacity. You know, Murfreesboro is a boom town. We've got a great thing here. A lot of people want to be a part of it. And we want to say, Murfreesboro is open for business. The limiting factor for Murfreesboro's growth is the wastewater treatment. No other department would really stop Murfreesboro from growing. It's a big thing, it's technical, it's regulated by the state, it's regulated by the federal government. And a lot of it's based on our natural resource of the West Fork Stones River. This is a very small creek, and that creates a tough situation for us. So as far as Murfreesboro's growth, it's limited by our ability to treat wastewater. Now, we've had to become very innovative, very dedicated, put in the time and the hard work to make some interesting things happen to enable the city of Murfreesboro to keep growing. Because although we are the limiting factor, we don't ever want to actually limit the city. So when they call and they say, hey, can we expand the city? Can we bring this business in? We want to be able to say, yes, Murfreesboro is open for business. We've got a vision. We've got a vision for this facility. And we've got a vision that plays into the directives from the council and from the city manager. The city manager has called us to go from good to great. We believe in this. We're dedicated to this. We want to be great. The particular vision for us is that we want to be a world-class operation. That's our vision, world-class. Our mission is to provide for the city of Murfreesboro wastewater capacity that results in high-quality effluent and beneficial reuse water. Now, our purpose in all of this is to create a better quality of life for the citizens of Murfreesboro. That's our end goal. Customer satisfaction, customer service excellence, and creating a better quality of life. We really believe in those things, creating a better quality of life for the citizens of Murfreesboro, which we're citizens ourselves, and following the manager's directive. We're going to go from good to great. Folks that want to be a part of that and want to see what we're doing are welcome to come out anytime for a tour. They can call the plant directly, they can call the city, they can call anyone in the department. We'll get them to the right folks. We have regular tours. This is something that we do all the time, so you're not inconveniencing at all. We would love to have you out here. We love for people to come out here and see what's going on. School groups come out here, MTSU comes out here, interested citizens come out here. We've had tours for a single interested citizen that just said, I'm an interested citizen. I never thought about it before, but I'd like to come out there. What's convenient for you? We scheduled it. She came out, and was really surprised at what goes on. And I think that's the takeaway for a lot of people. They're just not as familiar with it because we've been in the background and it's a reliable service, but we welcome everyone. Come out for the tour and you'll get to see your city services in action. You'll get to see a high-tech facility, cost effectiveness, professional staff. It's very interesting, and I think most folks would really enjoy coming out.
To learn more about the wastewater management process, contact the Sinking Creek Wastewater Treatment Plant at 615-848-3225.